position. For a while I've been intending to get another 22, and originally I was thinking about getting a Lithgow LA101 because apparently they're extremely accurate, really well made, and one of the few 22 long rifles, or one of the few rimfires that actually have lugs, like proper locking lugs, not just the root of the bolt handle as the locking single or one or two locking lugs typically on most rimfires. Now, so that's a very strong action, a very over-engineered. And you can probably say this about this action, because the Browning T-bolt uses quite a unique locking style. It actually has, it's sort of like a cross bolt that locks into, it goes through the bolt and into the surrounding action on both sides, on this side and that's on here as well. It's pretty easy to take out. There, out she comes, I'm supposed to. There we go. So what you've got there is, it's sort of like, well, it's just, yeah, it's like a cross bolt, round. And when you lock it, bang, she locks there, on this side of the action, and there, on that side of the action. So it's, I mean, it's really, really strong. I reckon you could quite easily, oh, you can go Hornet, 22 or 17 Hornet, I reckon, with this. It's really, really strong. There's no doubt about it. It's a really unique design. Not loaded. Don't worry. Yeah. So don't lose your bananas over that. I never have loaded guns in the house. So it's an extremely strong action, and probably because of that probably, well, it must aid in accuracy a fair bit. And it's really, I don't know who thought up this action. I'd really like to get in contact with Browning in Herstal in Belgium and say to them, hey, who thought up this thing? It's, yeah, it's really unique. It's probably one of the reasons I bought it, because I saw it a long, long time ago and I thought, geez, that looks strange. And since YouTube has been around, I've been checking it out every now and then, just, you know, having a look at it going, yeah, I really like that, you know, over a period of time. In the beginning I thought, that looks really weird, you know, I don't want anything to do with that. And then over a period of years it's become a fascination, and now I finally got one and I'm really happy about it. Anyway, so it is the Browning T-bolt, I'm reading off the board again, the Browning T-bolt Varmint 22 long rifle in stainless. Now it's got a 22-inch Varmint profile free floated barrel. Varmint profile, it's about a medium. It's not a true Varmint. Like on my CZ I've got a Varmint barrel that's 21mm all the way. This is not. It's about a medium, which is probably good. It's a 22 long rifle, you really don't need that, you know, chunky barrel, and which really aids in keeping the weight down on this. It's really light. Let's see, what's the weight of it? On its own, bare, with the bolt and the two magazines in it, you're looking at 5 pounds 4 ounces. So it's really, really light, really, really handy, but it's got a Varmint profile barrel in it, so for accuracy. So you can really, that's what I was after. I was after something that, in actual fact, this is probably perfect for what I was after. Something that I want to take out in the field, shoot rabbits, blah blah blah, but not be, you know, really accurate, but not too heavy. This fits the bill totally. Now, so what else has it got? It's got a semi-matched chamber, whatever that means. My understanding is that the projectiles, when you load the projectile, it's actually touching the lands or starts into the lands. Obviously depending on which projectile, you know, which ammo you're using. That's my understanding of what it's supposed to be. It's semi-match. Now it says it's got a target muzzle crown. Now that muzzle is just flat with a flange machined in small flange machined into the end. So I don't know how many different target crowns I've seen that look completely different. So there's clearly no set criteria for what a muzzle crown is. A target crown is, because I've got a few rifles that say, oh, it's a target crown, and they're all different. So yeah, very different. So I don't know what. I suppose it's yeah, we've got a target crown. Well, yeah, whatever. Now the stock is yeah, it's really slim, like really slim and trim and really light, and it's plastic. So yeah, there you go. Saying that, they have actually got, it is actually bedded. The action's bedded. Now, with a 22 long rifle, is that really going to do anything? I don't know. But in any case, they've gone to the trouble of, the barrel is fully free floated right to the action, and the action is bedded in the two usual spots. What else? It does not come, unlike a lot of rimfires, it does not come with the dovetail on the top for your typical, what is it, 11mm dovetail for scope mounts or rings. Doesn't come with that. It is strictly drilled and tapped. Not sure what the thinking behind that was, whether it's, oh no, ours is a serious rifle, we don't put dovetails on a serious rifle, or what, I don't know why, I suppose safe machining. But yeah, so you've got to get mounts for it. Now the mounts that it takes, what are they? They are Weaver 25 type mount bases, and these top mount bases are also for the Browning BLR, the Sauer 970, Mossberg 810, Winchester 52. So, and the number is, part number is Weaver, part number is 48025. So if you're thinking about buying one of these, you can put those bases on it. That's the bases to buy, or pre-order when you order the rifle, because they might not be in stock. Now, I do have a set of D&Z one-piece base ring set up on order, but it's going to take quite a few weeks to get here, because I couldn't get it in Australia. I couldn't get it in the United States. I had to order it from Europe. Now, a product that is made in the United States, I couldn't get in the United States. This is really bizarre situation. I had to order it from Europe, from Slovenia. And so somehow or other, it's going to take that, I don't know, D&Z are probably making it. They probably had to order it made, or I don't know what's going on, but yeah. So it's going to be weeks and weeks before I get that. So I just got these bases. Luckily, my gun store had them. Now, what else? What haven't I said about it? The magazines. The magazines, that's nice, pops out. Magazines are this revolutionary double helix, they call it. It's not a helix or a double helix. It's just an S. They go in that side and they come around and then they go around here. So that they load like an S shape. It's not a helix. A helix is a corkscrew. So yeah, but they call it double helix. In any case, excellent magazines. Like the quickest, easiest magazines to load that I have ever loaded. Really, I've never owned a 1022, so they're supposed to be really, really good, but from people who, I've seen reviews by people who've owned both, or own both, like USOG. If you haven't watched his channel, watch it. Between USOG and Gunblue 490, they are the go-to people. They're the channels that I watch when I need advice or just watch generally, because USOG I think owns pretty much every rifle that was ever made sporting. His collection is amazing. But anyway, he reckons that these magazines are better than the 1022 magazines, and they are excellent, I have to say. The 10 rounds, and they're not quite flush fit. Like, where is it? It does poke out a little bit, but it's nothing like a 10 round box magazine, like say on a CZ or a Burno or any of the others. Now, with this particular rig, you get one magazine in the rifle, and then you get a second in the buttstock. So it's really centered around a hunting situation, because if you're target shooting, and you know, who cares? You can keep a magazine in the buttstock. So this rig is definitely hunting oriented, and it's just perfect, I reckon. You know, 2 magazines, that's really all you need, especially when they're 10 rounders, you know, unless these days we don't really get massive infestations of rabbits anymore, which is what this is meant for. Now let's see, what else is there to say about it? Well, it's stainless, obviously, forgot to mention that. Now a bit of history on it. It was first introduced in 1965, and they continued it until 1975, and then they discontinued it. It went out of production. I'm not sure why. Yeah, it might have been because it was such a revolutionary design that, you know, people just shied away. I don't know, or it was too expensive or whatever. Now, in 2006, it was upgraded, slightly redesigned and reintroduced. The new model, the old model had a round bolt knob, and it was more at a 90-degree angle. I'll show you. That's, you see the angle of that. The old model, I think, was the bolt handle was much squarer. What else? Oh yeah, the bolt knob on the new model, this model, is flatter. The old model, it was actually just a round knob. And so you get, what else? Yeah, and the old model had a your typical single stack box magazine, like standard, like all the others have, well, most of the others anyway. So they when they redesigned it, oh yeah, the bolt on the new model is longer. The old model was a little bit shorter. I'm not sure what there is, but the old model had box magazines, so when they redesigned it, they designed this new double helix magazine, which is probably one of the best things they did to it. Now, let's get to the pros. The good points of the rifle. It's accurate, which I'll show you in a second. It's light, so what is it, 5 pounds 4 ounces naked. That's pretty damn light. Let's see what else. You get 2 magazines, one there, one in the buttstock, which is excellent. So usually you only get 1 magazine with most rifles. They're extremely easy to load. These magazines seriously are probably the easiest magazines I've ever loaded. It's stainless. That's always a plus when you live. If you can see the sweat on me, yeah. And this is early morning and it's so humid. It's made by Miraku in Japan, so they don't make garbage, so you know it's good. And it's got the branding name. Yeah. Now the cons are the trigger. Most people who are fussy with triggers, like myself, they change the trigger, which is what I did. I've got a jarred trigger. Jarred incorporated in the United States. It's a whole trigger pack. Like, that's the old one. So you're not just changing a little trigger mechanism. The whole shebang you got to change out. And this is the stock one, and it's plastic with, you know, metal bits. Nice gold trigger though, looks attractive, yeah. Browning logo on there, but it's all plastic, pretty much, which, yeah, you know my opinion of plastic. I hate plastic. Now the Browning, the jarred trigger, it's not cheap. It's like $230, $240. But I have to say that this is a 12-ounce trigger. You can get the triggers preset. Like there's 3 different weights that they offer preset. This is the lightest. This is the 12-ounce trigger. Excellent. Really, really good. Very crisp. No creep at all. It just breaks. Now, one issue that I do have with the jarred replacement is that it does not sit exactly in the same spot, like vertically, as the original, because I don't know if you can see there or not. Close the bolt. If you can see, just open the calipers, that there's a bit of a the jarred pack is sitting a bit low in relation to the tang. Now, to put it on the fire, you've got to go forward. Now, that is actually hitting the tang, and what happens is that when it's in the fire position, the bolt locking lug sits up and stops you from pulling the bolt out. But from time to time, what happens is that lug doesn't catch. Now it doesn't want to do it, and your bolt just comes out. Trying to get it to do it. And it's happened to me a fair bit. So, I mean, it doesn't want to do it now. The bolt just comes out free because the safety rocker knob, whatever you want to call it, it can't go forward far enough. It actually hits the back of the tang. Now, I'm not going to do anything to the tang, but I will probably get a Dremel and just work a bit off that knob, because it doesn't have to be that long. And I'll probably take about a couple of mil off it and see how that goes, which is not a big deal, but it's a bit disappointing because, a drop-in trigger, yeah, it's not totally, well, it is, but yeah, there's a bit of difference there. So Jard didn't get it perfect, but as far as like the Jard unit is all alloy and steel. I couldn't see any plastic in it at all. So yeah, good on Jard. And the trigger is like really, really excellent, really crisp. Oh, really good. Yeah, I love it. So if you want a replacement trigger, just see Jard. Now, the scope on it, I've got a Leopold Freedom, VX Freedom 3-9 rimfire. Great scopes. This is not the scope that I use to do the accuracy testing, which I'll show you in a minute, the results. And it's got a Harris style bipod. I don't know, probably Chinese, I can't remember where I bought it. In any case, what can I say? It is very accurate, and I'll show you. This is not the scope that I used for the accuracy. I actually took my 4.5 to 30 titanium off my 243 and put it on this, so I was using 30 power. So, because I've got old eyes and I need all the magnification I can get. So I gave it every chance to do really well, and I'll show you the results of that in a minute. Just before I show you the results of the accuracy testing, a word of note, right now we're entering into what we call the cyclone season, which is the storm. Most storms occur from about now till next month or so. Now, taking that into consideration, the humidity and the heat, and the temperature at the moment, like I'm sweating like crazy. So when I went, when I went to the range yesterday, it started off, it was raining, it was drizzly rain, still extremely warm, like about 33 degrees, 34 degrees, 35 degrees, and then climbed from there. And so it was, even though it was very overcast, it was very, the atmosphere was extremely dense, so it was not we're only talking 50 to 100 metres, so you know it wasn't that critical. But and then every now and then little storm would scud through, so from time to time you had varying wind conditions, like from 0 wind to blustery wind. So it was all over the place, and then in the end, by the time I got to do the 100 metre test, because the range that I shoot at, they are about to build a second range, one for casual for rifle, one for casual shooting and one for competition. That way the competition doesn't interfere with the casual shooters and vice versa. So there was a lot of mucking around because you have to wait for the competition shooters to do their thing, which they really did drag their asses. Pardon my French. By the time I got to do the 100 metre test, the sun was out, and it was about 35 degrees and mirage just all over the place. So yeah, people are going to say, "Oh, stop your whinging," Yeah, sorry, but I just wanted to let you know just what the situation was with the conditions. Now, I'll put that to one side, and I'll show you the results of the accuracy testing. I'll have a little. It's dry, it's hot. A little drinky. Alright, so now I started off with, what have we got here? SK Magazine. SK Magazine, I'll show you that, you probably can't see what's going on there anyway, but so SK Magazine. This is at 50 metres, so these are at 50 metres. So I had one group, what I did was because there's so many different types of ammo, I was having to, recenter the scope. And so sometimes, like if I would fire the first round into the big square diamond. If it was close to the centre, I'd do group there as well. But most of the time I was just centering it. So the centre large diamond is usually just garbage. But so there's out of 4 groups here at 50 metres with SK Magazine. I had 4 rounds that were in 1 inch, and then I had a big flyer that pushed out to 2 inches. The next group was, this is all 5 rounds, 0.9 of 1 inch. The next group 0.9 of 1 inch, the next group 0.9 of 1 inch. So consistently you're looking at just under 1 inch at 50 metres with SK Magazine, which is pretty good, and it is good ammo. Now, RWS Subsonic, this stuff, hollow point, what is it? 40 grain, it's a 40 grain hollow point. Let's see, what does it look like? It looks like just lead, just a lead projectile hollow point. RWS Subsonic, had one group at the original group that I started with at 0.8, one at 1.1, one at 1.1 and one at 0.96. So not bad at all, that's good stuff. RWS Subsonic. Let's see what else. Federal American Eagle Suppressor. Is that here? Yeah, it's what is it? It's a 45 grain. It's a copper coated projectile. 45 grain. Is it a hollow point? No, it's just a round nose, copper coated round nose. And where'd we go here? And one at 1.5, 1.5, 1.5, 1.5, 0.8. Yeah, not bad. 1.4, 1.4. So the original group wasn't bad at 0.8, but all the others were 1.5 inches. So yeah, pretty average. Let's see. The next one was. What's this stuff called? T22, Winchester T22. It's a 40 grain. Let's see, what does that look like? It's just a lead projectile. Hollow point? No, just a round nose lead projectile, 40 grains. And I had, let's see, 1.4, 1.2, 1.4, 1.7, 1.2. Oh, actually, this one here, that group there, If it hadn't been for this real huge flyer, it would have been 0.4 an inch. But I had a massive flyer. It is what it is. So sort of mixed results. Yeah. Obviously, inconsistency, which yeah, not uncommon with Winchester. Yeah, pretty scathing that stuff. Let's see what else. Remington Subsonic. Where's that? Yeah. Remington Subsonic hollow point. It's lead. How many grains is it? What does it say? I can't see any specs for how many grains it is. That's pretty crap. Alright, so Remington Subsonic 22 hollow point. Let's see, 0.95, 0.75, 1, 0.85, 1.2. Not bad, yeah. Not bad at all. Let's see, what have we got to go? Now, this stuff that I've got here, this is some of the first 22 ammunition that I've ever bought when I got back into shooting, so it's probably about 5 years old. Now, it's a copper coated hollow point, and I don't know what brand it is. This is, that's the stamp that it's got on the base, on yeah, a big T. If you can tell me what that is, please tell me, because I asked people at the gun shop about it. They didn't know what it was. I asked people at the range about the older gents, clearly the most experienced people at the range about it. They didn't know what it was. So obviously it's not getting made anymore, but it must, or it might be an old stamp, or I don't know what it is. But in any case, that stuff. So it just looks like 40 grain hollow point, copper coated. So I just call it bulk T because I don't know what brand it is. Now, so that's what I originally sighted the scope in with. That's why there's all this garbage all over the place. But after I sighted in, I got, the first group was 0.6, second one was 1, 1.2, and 0.6 again. So that's not bad stuff. And that was like cheap bulk ammunition. So yeah, it likes that. I want to know what it is so I can buy more of it because it likes it. Now, let's see. The next one was the old classic, the Cci Mini Mag, and you can see I've shot all of it. Now, with the Cci Mini Mag, yeah, I've been mucking around with that. I don't know what happened there, but 0.7, 0.7, 1, 0.7. So, yeah. And my understanding is that this is very consistent stuff, and everybody's pretty happy with it that I've ever seen testing it. Yeah. Good old Cci Mini Mag. Now, Winchester PowerPoint. Let's see, how do we go there? 1.3, 0.8, 0.53, 1.7. So, 1 minute it's doing half an inch, the next minute it's doing almost 2 inches. So, yeah, potential, but clearly inconsistent, which is again Winchester, or Olin, they make their ammo. Next thing was Remington Golden Bullet, which is high velocity plated round nose. Does not say how many grains. Come on, guys. All right, so the Remington Golden Bullet. This where it's still at 50 meters. Let's see, the original was 1, 0.56, 1.1, 0.55. I don't know what that up there was. 0.55 and 1.3. No, that's not 0.55. Yeah, 1.3. Yeah. Again, a bit inconsistent. Then next, we have Winchester Subsonic 42 Max, which is a 42 grain lead hollow point, and we've got 0.7, 0.6, we've got two groups there actually. One group at 1 and one group at 0.7, 1.1, 0.8. Not bad. Yeah, it likes. Here's a Winchester ammo that I've actually got some time for. The only Winchester ammo I've got any time for. Now, as far as Winchester ammo is concerned, I only had one failure in any way, shape or form. And I shot probably over 2 days, a lot of rounds, hundreds and hundreds, like literally hundreds and hundreds of rounds. I only had one failure, and that was a failure to ignite. And guess what brand? Winchester. And Winchester Subsonic, which is the one that I like, so yeah, hardly surprising. Now, I don't have a box here because I actually threw it out when I was at the range, but I had a box of SK pistol match. It was still at 50 metres, and wow. This is, I was advised by one of the guys that I deal with there at the gun store to try it. Well, good thing I did, because the original, let's see, the original group in the middle, right, if it hadn't been for with the flyer it's 1 inch. You go, no, that's alright. Without the flyer it would have been 0.3 of an inch, 4 rounds in 0.3 of an inch. Then the next group was just one ragged hole, 0.37 of an inch, 0.5 of an inch, 0.7, really strung sideways, quite strange. There's probably wind problem there. And 0.6, yeah, SK pistol match, that's the shit. Sorry, my French again. And then Ely match. I don't have the box. Oh, yeah, I haven't got the box. Yeah, the black box. Ely match. Let's see, 0.77 of an inch, 0.56 of an inch, 0.35 of an inch, 0.47 of an inch, and 0.5 of an inch. Yeah, I've always, you know, when the day before yesterday, when I went to the range and tried the Ely match in it, it didn't do that well. But yesterday, I think, I don't know, maybe the barrel hadn't been fouled up enough, leaded up enough, or I don't know, whatever, but that Ely match, it's pretty much close, you know, between that and the SK pistol match. In actual fact, yeah, I think the Ely match wins out. Now, because those two were the most accurate ammunition, I thought I'll go to 100 metres and see what happens. So, let's see, with the Ely match, I went 1.7, 1.1, 0.9, and 2. So, mind you, again, yeah, it was the Mirage. By the time I made it to 100 metres, shoot at 100 metres, the Mirage was just berserk. So, yeah, what I'd like to do is, I'd like to, and I'll try out a few different types of more types of ammo, a few different more brands and kinds, and do a test of it in later on the year when it's drier and cooler and you don't have such a huge fluctuation in conditions. Now, at 100 metres with the SK pistol match, I had 0.9, 1.2, let's see, because I only did a few groups because I ran out of ammo. Yeah, 0.9, 1.2, and this one here, I've got a massive fly that pushes out to 2.1 inches, but without that fly it would have been 0.6 of an inch. Yeah, so definitely the Ely match didn't perform too well there, but yeah, you're looking at very close, pretty much an MOA, under decent conditions, an MOA rifle with match ammunition, which, you know, you'd expect with any good 22 really. So it's not like, you know, a $2,000-3,000 arm shorts or anything like that, but it is a very good rifle. I love it. Yeah, it's really light to carry around. It's fast. It's a fast action. Like, you know, you can really that's it. You could just pump through it, you know. So yeah, it's strong, and I really love it. I think, but the only real gripe that I have is just the size of this buttstock. It is tiny. Like, there's my hand. You know, it's tiny. Yeah, it's really, really tiny. And the bolt knob is really smooth. I would have preferred it to have some sort of knurling on it, like with the Remington bolt knobs. Yeah, I might have to do something about that later, because yeah, it is really smooth. Other than that, it's just a fantastic little rifle, and I'd recommend anyone to get one. They're not cheap. It cost me 1,250 Australian, which most people would go, whoa, that's a lot for a rimfire, but it is a Browning, and it's made by Miraku. Nothing Miraku make is cheap. And it's quality, and yeah, just go out and get one. You won't regret it. You don't have to change the trigger. It's not crucial, but you know, I am really anal about triggers, so yeah, change that. Put a decent scope on there, and you're right to roll. It's a great little hunting package. Yeah, so that's pretty much all I've got to say about it. So see you later.